We'll start with the school prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Om Bhuvaswaha. Om Tatsaviturvarenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः. ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः. ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We will take up verses 37, 38, 39 and 40.
Yeah.
Because the commentary is written for all the four together.
Right.
So I will read the original verse and you can read the translation and the commentary on it. Kasmachate na nameran mahatman gariyase brahmanopyadhikartre ananta devesha jagannivasa tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yat त्वमादिदेवः पुरुषः पुराणस्त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानं वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप. वायुर्यमोऽग्निर्वरुणः शशाङ्कः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वः पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते. The 40th verse is Namah Purastadath Prushthataste Namostu Te Sarvata Eva Sarva Anantaviryam Amitavikramastvam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarvaha.
I'll read the translation first. 37.
Yes.
How should they not bow in homage unto thee, O great Spirit? For thou art the original creator and doer, and greater even than creative Brahma. O thou infinite, O thou Lord of the gods, O thou abode of the universe, thou art the immutable, thou art what is and is not, and thou art that which is the supreme. 38. Thou art the original Godhead, the ancient soul. Thou art the supreme resting place of this all. Thou art the knower, and thou the to be known, and thou the supreme status. O infinite form, by thee is the universe extended. 39. Thou art Vayu, the lord of wind, Yama, the lord of law, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, Shashanka, the moon, Prajapati, the lord of creatures, and the ancestor of all. Salutation to thee 1,000 times over, and again, and yet again salutation. 40. Bowed am I to thee in thy front, bowed at the back of thee, bowed again from every side, O all, infinite in might and immeasurable in strength of action, art thou. Thou pervadest all, and thou art everything. I'll read the commentary.
Yes, please.
Okay. For those who are interested, this commentary is from pages 390 to 91 from Essays of the Gita. This
And
is
on 177 of the Bhagavad Gita itself.
correct.
Yeah,
This
we
is,
can read this part of it. Yeah,
yeah. This is
177.
this is the truth of him in which all is reconciled. A harmony of simultaneous and interdependent truths start from and amount to the one that is real. It is the truth of a supreme soul, of whose supreme nature the world is a derivation and an inferior figure of that infinite. Of the Ancient of Days, who forever presides over the long evolutions of time, of the original Godhead, of whom gods and men and all living creatures are the children, the powers, the souls, spiritually justified in their being by his truth of existence, of the knower who develops in man the knowledge of himself and world and God, of the one object of all knowing who reveals himself to man's heart and mind and soul, so that every new opening form of our knowledge is a partial unfolding of him, up to the highest by which he is intimately, profoundly, and integrally seen and discovered. This is the high supreme stability who originates and supports and receives to himself all that are in the universe. By him, in his own existence, the world is extended. By his omnipotent power, by his miraculous self conception and energy, and ananda of never ending creation. All is an infinity of his material and spiritual forms. Again, it is repeated that he is the all, he is each and every one, Sarvaha. He is the infinite universal, and he is each individual and everything that is, the one force and being in every one of us, the infinite energy that throws itself out in these multitudes, the immeasurable will and mighty power of motion and action that forms out of itself all the courses of time and all the happenings of the spirit in nature.
Yeah. Now, if you see these verses, here Arjuna has a true glimpse of what is this cosmic manifestation or cosmic vision is. He has been for quite some time under the impression that Krishna is like anybody else. But once when the cosmic form is revealed to him, he understands not only the true nature of Krishna, but the true nature of the entire manifestation itself. Because he sees that they are not two different things. Sri Krishna is not separate and different from the manifestation. And he is overcome with that great sense of reverence and devotion towards him. And that's why he says, how should they not bow in homage unto thee? Anyone who has a glimpse of this cannot remain unmoved. He would be filled with that reverence, and that would make him to bow low and salute this very cosmic vision which is manifested, and he is able to see another dimension. He says, you are greater than the creator, and in fact you are the original creator and doer. Adikartre, Adikarta means the primordial creator and doer who is greater than the creative Brahma. And Arjuna extols out of his ecstasy Sri Krishna as Ananta, Devesha, Jagannivasa. He calls him as Ananta. You are infinite. And you are the Lord of all gods, Devesha. You are the Isha of all Devas. And you are the abode of the universe. You are in the entire universe. Only your presence is filled. The whole universe is filled with your presence. Jagannivasa. And you are both Sat and Asat, and that which is beyond that also. Sadasat Tat Param Yat. And you are Akshara, imperishable, immutable. We can understand the great ecstasy in Arjuna, which has brought forth this expression. The ecstasy of that vision, that experience, has brought forth such great feelings of reverence, dedication, devotion, salutation, and a kind of understanding has dawned upon him, where he knows that he is everything and nothing is beyond him. He is everything. He is infinite. He is the Lord of everybody, even the gods. He alone resides in this abode of the universe. He is that which is there and that which is not there, that which exists and which does not exist, and he is beyond all existences also. And he continues in this vein, in the same manner, he continues and says, Tvam Adidevaha. You are the Adideva, you are the primordial Godhead. Purushaha Puranaha. You are the ancient one. And Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. You are the place where everyone, everything seeks repose and rest in you. You are that supreme state and being in whom everything rests. Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. And very interestingly, he says, Vettasi Vedyam cha. He has used two terms here. These are very important and which are discussed in the commentary of Sri Aurobindo also. You are the knower and you are the object to be known. Vettasi Vedyam cha. There is nothing else to be known. By knowing which everything else is known is you. And I may consider falsely as though I am the knower, but in fact you are operating in me as the knower also. Because you have imbued the whole universe. Whole universe is in you. And you are in everything. So you are the knower and the object. That means the subject and the object are both you only. It means there is nothing external or any external means or even internal means that way, as we understand from a worldly point of view, is not there. You are the knower, Vetta, and you are the Vedyam. You are the one to be known. And he says, Param Chadhama. You are the highest being and the highest that anybody can ever even think of reaching. Dhama means abode, place of residence. And also it indicates that highest state of supreme consciousness. And the whole Vishwa, the whole universe is filled with your form. By thee is the universe extended. Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. Anantarupa is infinite form. You are that infinite form with whose spirit the whole universe is filled with and extended. So you see the state of mind of Arjuna, who had this cosmic vision, is able to go beyond all earlier descriptions. What all he had known about Sri Krishna and what all was told to him in the earlier chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, this is in one way the culmination of it through the revelation of the cosmic vision, whereby he is able to understand and appreciate truly the nature of the Supreme Being. That is why he says, Tvam Adidevaha Purushaha Puranaha Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Veddasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvayatatam Vishwam Anantarupa. Then another dimension is brought out. See, the source of all wisdom for us is the Veda, the Shruti. In the Vedas, great prominence is given to the rulers of the elements, the rulers of Pancha Mahabhutas. And what guides the relative life on this earth? The Lord himself is like the sun. The Supreme Being in manifestation in one way is compared to the sun. And in the presence of that sun, all other great elements function in an orderly manner. Therefore, he now says in verse number 39, Vayur Yamo Agnir Varunaha Shashankaha Prajapatisthvam Prapitamahascha. Vayu, Yama, Agni, Varuna, Shashanka, that is the moon, Prajapati, all these are you. I am able to see you in all the elements also, in all the great elements also. See, unfortunately, what has happened to us is when we become too familiar with things, we forget the importance of it, we forget the beauty of it, we forget the preciousness of it, and we forget the divinity of it. We forget the divinity of air, the preciousness of air, without which we can't even survive for a few minutes. We forget the preciousness, the divinity, and the beauty and the utility of fire, earth, water, and the great law in operation. Very beautifully, if you see, Sri Aurobindo has translated the word Yama as the Lord of Law. The Lord of Law. Yama is therefore called as Dharmaraja. See the beauty of the whole Indic culture and philosophy and thinking. Yama is portrayed as the Lord of Death, which is true, but only partially true. What is true is that he is actually the law, he is the Lord of the law operating in nature in every sphere. And in some earlier context we discussed also, if there were to be no death, life would become meaningless. Life would lose its importance. And we would be bored to death. So death is something very precious. And the Lord of Death is also the giver of law. He is the one who ensures that everything operates in a balanced manner. That's why one of the synonyms of Yama is Samavarti. One who always deals with everybody equally in an equanimous manner. No partiality, no bias, no prejudices. Nothing operate there. And as Jiddu Krishnamurti used to say, death is something final. You can't argue, you can't discuss, you can't bargain, you can't do anything with death. That's all. When it comes, and you are no more. Your physical form is gone. Your connection with this world is gone. And Krishnamurti also used to say that love, life, death, beauty are all one. They are not different. That universal love, which is not the opposite of hatred, because there the question of hatred doesn't arise at all. So life, love, beauty, compassion, death, are not different aspects. They are all interlinked and connected, and they are one. That is the beauty of it. That's why Sri Aurobindo calls Yama as the Lord of Law. Shashanka, moon has a very important role to play. It has a dual role. Just like the sun, the moon is also important for the seasons and for the ebbs and flows of the tides of the ocean. And the moon is also the one who affects the mind of human beings. Chandrama manaso jataha. Moon is said to be born out of the mind, or moon is considered as the lord of the mind also. That's why in other languages you have this Luna, which has come into French and other languages also. I think it has a Greco-Roman origin. Luna means the moon, lunar, and from there the words lunatic and other things have come. That means that which affects the mind. And it can be seen also, people who are disturbed mentally, that severity will go up or down based on the phase of the moon, and especially they are affected by the new moon and the full moon. And our calendar, mostly all over the world, is lunar calendar. We have a solar calendar also, and we match the lunar and the solar calendar very carefully, because some seasons, some festivals, some important occasions of the moon coming into each constellation, the sun coming into each constellation in association with a constellation is considered to be very important. Like the sun in the Capricorn is Sankranti for us, which normally occurs in December, January. And the other is, there are two tropics also, the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, which comes in July. The sun appears to be moving within those two, within the band of that Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer, because of the inclination of the Earth. So every month we have what is called as a Sankranti. Every month we have a Sankramana. That means coming together. But the two most important are the one which comes in when it enters Capricorn, and the other when it enters the constellation called Cancer, or the zodiac sign. Constellation would mean the cluster of stars. Here it is the zodiac sign. Zodiac sign of Capricorn and zodiac sign of Cancer. Why I am saying this is the moon has a very important role to play. Similarly, Prajapati. These are the progenitors of humanity. Starting with Brahma, we have all these Prajapatis. And very interestingly, he says, you are the Prapitamahascha. Prapitamaha means great-grandfather. That means you are the primordial being, and therefore there are no ancestors to you. You yourself are your own ancestor. You are the father, you are the grandfather, you are the great-grandfather also. Pitamaha is grandfather, Prapitamaha is great-grandfather. To indicate that you are the most ancient one, Purana Purusha. And you do not have a father or a grandfather or a great-grandfather or somebody. You yourself are all that. And realizing that, he again and again and again and again he bows to him and says, Namo Namostute Namaste Astu Sahasra Kritvaha Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. He says Namaha, then Namaste, and he says 1,000 times Namaste to you, and again he says Namaha and Namaste. This expression is, as I said, of that great ecstasy, of that great joy and bliss and awe due to the cosmic vision. And therefore, he is overwhelmed by his reverence and salutes him 1,000 times. This is what is to be found. As we discussed in some other context, that the experience precedes the expression. Here, whatever expression you are able to see is on account of that divine experience, the experience which is beyond all description. This description falls short of all that he has actually experienced. And then he doesn't stop there. He says, I bow to you in front. I bow to you at the back. I bow to you from all sides. Namostute sarvataha. Because you are all. You are sarva. You are sarvaha. And he is able to actually experience the almighty nature of Sri Krishna through his cosmic vision. And therefore he calls him as Ananta Virya. Infinite in your might, Virya, in your prowess, in your strength, in that might. You are Ananta Virya and Amita Vikrama. You are immeasurable and capable of conquering everything. And as the biblical saying says, conquers peace. He is the one who has conquered the whole universe with his presence, and he is immeasurable, Amita Vikrama. And you pervade everything. Sarvam samapnoshi. And immeasurable in strength of action art thou. Thou pervadest all and thus art everything. Tatosi sarvaha. I do not see anything beyond you. The whole emphasis of this description for us is also to go beyond the description and beyond the expression. Because if you hold on to the expression, you will lose the fragrance of that experience. One can experience that cosmic vision using these expressions as a channel only. That does not hold on too much to the description, but at the same time use this expression to at least get a small glimpse of that cosmic vision. This is not otherwise possible unless the mind is totally silent, unless the mind realizes its own futility and also realizes that there is something beyond this mind you cannot come to it. If you stop with the mind, we are lost. If we stop at that level, we are lost. All cultures, all ages, all sages and saints and those who have had this cosmic vision in some form or the other have repeatedly emphasized and vouched and told us in unequivocal terms that there is something beyond the mind, and that is something infinite, immeasurable, beyond space and time. If that were not to be there would not be any purpose for manifestation. There would not be any purpose for this whole thing to come into being. And earlier in the description we have seen, Arjuna was awestruck, he was terrorized, he was feeling a great sense of fear and terror. And here now he comes and sees something beyond everything that is known or knowable. And that's where Sri Aurobindo in his commentary says, this is the truth of him in which all is reconciled. There is no contradiction at all. There is no conflict anywhere. We have seen the presence of fear, grotesqueness, something which is gruesome, death, destruction. But all this is within that, and there is nothing which is in conflict with anything else, and there is no contradiction. And therefore, Sri Aurobindo uses this beautiful term. This is the truth of him in which all is reconciled, a harmony of simultaneous and interdependent truths. There are levels and levels of truth. At the grossest level, there is a truth in itself. Then there is a greater truth than that. Then there is a subtler truth than that. Then there is a much subtler truth and something which is supreme truth. So you see that harmony of simultaneous and interdependent truths from and amount to one that is real. It is the truth of a supreme soul, of whose supreme nature the world is a derivation and an inferior figure of that infinite. That's the point to be noted. Please note this point very carefully. In the whole Vedic tradition and culture and ethos and the spiritual dimension that is presented, the creator and the creation are not separate from each other. As compared with the Judeo-Abrahamic religions and others, here the creation is an emanation from the creator himself, and he is no different from the creation. The only point is, he is, when in manifestation, he is an inferior figure of that infinite. The whole creation emanates from the creator, and the creator permeates the whole universe, and is a lower level of manifestation of that which is essentially infinite. Now, it may appear to be contradictory because there can't be a smaller infinity and a greater infinity. Infinity is infinity. But What is being presented here is that the infinite has extended a derivation of itself, has emanated from itself and brought into limitation through its own manifestation. And of the ancient of days who forever presides over the long evolutions of time. That's why he's called as the Adideva, Purana Purusha. If you go back in time, you will go to infinity. Because there's no end to time in either direction. Because it's cyclic in nature. So he has presided over this whole evolution of time. Therefore, he is called as the original Godhead. And as I mentioned earlier, the important point is, who is to be known by whom? That is the question that is put in the Upanishads also. Yajnavalkya says in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Vijñātāram are kena vijānatam. How do you know the knower? Here, he makes that, gives emphasis to the same thing and says, you are the knower and you are the object to be known also. That means we proceed from the known and through our sensitivity should be able to see the divinity, the greatness, the infinitude of that supreme reality in everything in manifestation. Unless you come to it through the known, you can't know him. That is the reason Jiddu Krishnamurti used to say, when did you last see the sky for 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Let us be very honest to ourselves. We are about 15 or 16 people here. How many of us have really spent 5 or 10 minutes of quality time in the past 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years watching the sky, doing nothing, watching the treetops, watching the birds, without allowing the thought to interfere in the process. In fact, I think except for 1 or 2, all of us are senior citizens, except maybe for Sumanji and maybe 1 or 2 others. We have nothing much to do also, really speaking. The whole point I am trying to make is, can you not be sensitive to see that infinity in the sky above? Can we not see the beauty of manifestation of a blossoming flower? And more beautifully, do you see that a tiny, a sapling pushes itself through the crevices in the between stones at very odd places between the door and the floor. Suddenly you find a small sapling coming out of it. See the strength of that as compared to the stone and the wood and other things. See the strength of that small seed And the life in that, which grows and pushes itself through the smallest opening and tries to find light and air and water. Is that not an expression of that infinity in manifestation? So that is where one can see actually from the known, from what is something which is very close to us. We are not far away from it. So he says, of the one object of all knowing who reveals himself to man's heart, mind, and soul. That's where this is a very beautiful expression. Heart, mind, and soul means everything that we have, all that we are, we need to put it into that. Unfolding, so that every new opening form of our knowledge, everything we come to know about, is a partial unfolding of him up to the highest, by which he is intimately, profoundly, and integrally seen and discovered. We need not go anywhere. That's the point I am trying to make. We need not go anywhere for anything. The whole of creation, that infinitude, what we call as God, that supreme intelligence, the supreme being, the supreme reality, the ultimate truth, the ultimate universal consciousness, whatever name you give, is here and now and within us and within our reach. Can we see that? That's why he says he is intimately, profoundly, and integrally seen and discovered. This is the high supreme stability who originates and supports and receives to himself all that are in the universe. By him, in his own existence, the world is extended. This is the beauty of the Indic culture, the Vedic civilization, the Vedic spiritual tradition. By him, in his own existence, the world is extended. The world is no different from him. This is the, as opposed to a creator being separate from the creation, we have the creator being the creation himself. The creator and the creation are inseparably one, and the whole of the universe, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. The very first verse of the first mantra of the first great Upanishad says this. Whatever is seen, whatever is moving, whatever is there in this manifestation is imbued by that spirit of that infinitude and that universality which is present in everything. And therefore he says, by his omnipotent power, by his miraculous self-conception and energy and ananda of never-ending creation. Just hold on for a minute. So, all is an infinity of his material and spiritual forms. He is using both the terms, material and spiritual. Everything material also is divine. The moment we realize that divinity in everything material, we would automatically refrain from harming, from misusing, from wasting, from injuring, from creating the kind of devastation which we are seeing in this world today. The moment I see that this table, this chair, this laptop, this computer, this iPhone, everything around me has that divinity, will it not bring about a kind of unimaginable transformation, a transformation which is beyond all imagination in us, whereby we will approach everything with that divinity and that reverence. And that is manifest actually. See, Westerners and even our own children, we have seen them heckling. See, when a new TV was brought in, my mother was there, my wife was there, and they applied some vermilion and some, kumkum to that. My children started laughing. What is this? You are performing aarti to a television, and you are performing aarti to a telephone, and you are performing puja to this. But that is the tradition. The remnants of that tradition says that this is a gift from God. This is a presentation which tells us about his manifestation. 50, 60, 70 years back or 80 years back, did anybody imagine that an instrument like a television or a laptop or a telephone or a mobile phone or a smartphone would come into being? Whenever we perform any puja and do some cooking, we clean the stove and apply some kumkum and haldi to it, because we are performing something sacred. We are preparing food to offer it to that divinity, and that devotion and sacredness has to be there in us, and that is what is imbibed in our culture. So obviously, I would use it very judiciously. I will use it very carefully. I will not waste anything. I will not unnecessarily create problems for anything, harming or injuring or hurting, whether things or persons would not arise at all. Are we able to see that? That is the beauty of it. That's why he says all is an infinity of his material and spiritual forms. Again, it is repeated that he is the all. He is each and every one, Sarvaha. He is the infinite universal, and he is each individual and everything that is. The one force and being in every one of us, the infinite energy that throws itself out in these multitudes, the immeasurable will, the mighty power of motion and action that forms out of itself all the courses of time and all the happenings of the spiritic nature. See the beauty of that expression of Sri Aurobindo. We need not further elaborate on this. It's very clear as to what he is saying. So if we see the divinity in and around us, we need not go anywhere in search of it. It is very much here in our presence, manifesting in everything. See, one simple thing, though we consider ourselves to be all educated and very qualified, and we have all kinds of qualifications of engineering and medicine and management and law and whatnot, arts and sciences, everything. But let us be honest to ourselves. Are we individually truly capable of creating even a small pin? Forget about smartphones, iPhones, laptops, and other things. Are we individually capable of producing a pin? Can you see the effort that goes into it? Somebody has to do mining. Somebody has to produce the ore. Somebody has to produce the iron. Somebody has to convert it into steel. Somebody has to convert it into a wire. Somebody has then got to make it into a pin. And that has to come to us. So we will know the true value of it instead of the cost. The cost of the pin may be only not even 1 paise. But see the value of chain, you see the value of it. Somebody is able to produce something like that and give it to you almost for free. So we are only concerned about the monetary aspect of it, but not the true value of it. Earlier, pins were carefully maintained. There used to be a paper to which you used to put all these pins and put them in carefully. You had anything was very carefully preserved for multiple use, repeated use, reusing it. But today we have come into a culture of use and throw, including people. We use and throw people. Not only things, we have extended it to people also. So that divinity is visible, tangible, and within our grasp here and now, but we don't see it. That is what is revealed through the cosmic vision to Arjuna. Arjuna is now able to see that cosmic vision. But need not expect that Sri Krishna should appear before us and then give his reveal his cosmic vision, and then only there will be a transformation. That will never happen. Maybe in thousands of years it may happen to one person. In several millennia, it may happen to one Arjuna. But it can happen to you and me on a daily basis here and now if we are sensitive enough. The reason why Jiddu Krishnamurti always used to emphasize on becoming sensitive to everything, he would say, you may be sensitive to beauty, you may be sensitive to something good, but can you be sensitive to ugliness? Can you be sensitive to the cruelty in this world? Can you be sensitive to everything without distinction? Then you will know how to act. That intelligence will dictate your action. So that's the beauty of this whole cosmic vision that is revealed to him. And this is the core of what Arjuna has actually experienced. And that's what has brought about the transformation in him. Any chat, any points for discussion?
Krishnaphani,
yes.
One thing I wanted to ask you was that, you talked about divinity and everything that's material as well. And, the importance of appreciating that for the divinity is there, what is there in it. The only the point I was wanting to ask you is that when we do these pujas after Diwali and all of that, there's a completely different sentiment in that, right?
No, see, these are the remnants of that ancient and very sacred tradition.
Okay.
We are holding on to the ghost of it, the empty drama of it. We are holding on to that empty drama. We are holding on to that remnants and leftovers of that great culture and civilization which has taught us that. But if you go deep into it, You go deep into any festival, any religious activity, any thing concerned with our life, where because it is quite natural to seek goodness, seek progress, seek development, seek prosperity. It's quite natural to anybody and everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I'm seeking that, I need to approach that with that kind of reverence.
Okay.
And at least for those few minutes or few seconds, remember that divinity in operation and see that it protects you. I have seen, see, invariably, all lorry drivers, all truck drivers, all taxi drivers and all, they keep their own Ishtadevata in the vehicle.
Right.
And before they start,
Hmm.
they touch the steering and put it to their heart or their head.
Hmm.
Why? Because they know that there is a power, there is a force, there is an energy beyond them which is an operation.
Correct.
And I am remembering it, seeing that I don't get into an accident and I don't kill somebody or I don't get injured in the process. Let my journey be safe. Let my actions be safe. Even if I am, for any reason, even if I am, disturbed or distracted, let the hand of that divinity guide me. So you see, every action, if you relate it to it with that sensitivity and sacredness, you will see the beauty of it, and in that you find that infinitude manifesting in material things. So everything, every religion, every festival, every celebration is a remembrance of the divinity, is an occasion to remember and offer our gratitude to that divinity. That's the beauty of it.
Hmm. Okay.
Ramachandranji says, Sir, our old sacred traditions have been systematically destroyed by successive outside invasions. Looks there is nothing much being done to get back the rich cultures and traditions. Sir, we can go on blaming somebody or the other for all the ills. How long are you going to blame? Aurangzeb killed 220 years back. Before him, Alauddin Khilji did it. Earlier, Taimur did it. Earlier, somebody else did it. And then before that, somebody else did it. There's no point in doing it, sir. Are we following our own traditions and with the requisite knowledge? Do we understand the importance of that tradition? Do we understand the importance of the sacredness of every action? That nobody, see, sir, if we are strong enough, and we are definitely strong enough, the fact that these traditions are still alive is a fact that none of these people could actually destroy them completely. Other civilizations have simply vanished. You know, the Sare Jahan Se Acha, Hindustha Hamara, by Iqbal, he himself says, Yunan, Misr, Roma, sab mit gaye jahan se. Greece, Rome, Egypt. Where are these ancient traditions and ancient cultures now? They are only cities. Athens is a city in ruins. Cairo and Egypt, they are city in ruins. Rome is a historical place, but what about their culture? What about their civilization? They are lost, but not in India. But not in India. It is a living culture even today because there is something divine in it and some greater forces are protecting it. But unfortunately, you and I are not contributing to it, or maybe contributing it negatively, and the next generation is doing much worse. That's where the beautiful, actually for political reasons, they removed this stanza from Iqbal's Sare Jahan Se Acha. But this he has very clearly written, Yunan Mishra Roma submit gaye jahan se, बाकी मगर है अब भी नामो निशा हमारा, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. When he said that there is something here, something in this civilization and in this culture which can never die. You know, very interestingly, I sent you that Ravi Ravindra's talk on Jiddu Krishnamurti. He was actually flabbergasted. Ravi Ravindra was stopped while they were walking in a wood. Krishnaji stopped and said, "Do you know what is the real problem with India?" Then Ravi Ravindra was just listening to him. He was not answering. Though he had put it as a, Krishnaji has put it as a question, he was listening to what he was going to say. And he made a statement which Ravi Ravindra could never imagine that Krishnaji would make such a statement. In answer to that question, which he himself has put and said, "Do you know what is the problem with India?" And he replies by saying, "The problem is the Brahmins in India have forgotten the tradition. The Brahmins in India have forgotten their tradition." It is the Brahmin is not the caste, is not the community. The Brahmana is one who knows the truth, who knows the reality and the sacredness of the Vedas. Yajnavalkya very clearly in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad makes it very clear that who is a Brahmana. Atha yova etadaksharam viditva praitissa brahmanaha, he says. He who knows that this imperishable principle, aksharam, and having known that, he passes on through the portal of death, such a person is a Brahmana, he says. Otherwise, anybody else, like you and me, we are only miserable wretches. Yova etadaksharam gargyavititva praitisa krupanaha. He calls such a person as a krupana. Krupana means a miserable person, a wretched person. But he who knows the truth, he is a Brahmana. They have forgotten the tradition. It is living in some dark corners here and there, and it is like a small rivulet of that mighty ocean, of that mighty river of our ancient tradition and culture, and that sacredness. Only a small, dirty, filthy rivulet is flowing now. We have to make it into a vast, roaring river and a mighty ocean. It is our responsibility. See, I have made it a point, whether people listen to me or don't listen to me, wherever I go, I take an opportunity to tell people this. In spite of the fact that some of them may ridicule me, some of them may misunderstand me, some of them may simply discard me, I don't care. Take an opportunity and spread that goodness, spread that greatness of that tradition. And unfortunately, this is a worldwide phenomenon. This is a worldwide phenomenon where all cultures, all civilizations, all religions have simply fallen by the wayside. And we are thinking of all wrong means to revive it. See, Ma Manishi did not establish the school of ancient wisdom just for the heck of it. It was a divine ordain. She was ordained to a divine source to establish it, because there has to be a nucleus somewhere, there has to be a core somewhere from which it has to flower and spread and grow. foolishly, people all over the world are thinking in the wrong direction. How should we bring people into the fold of religion? You don't understand true religion anywhere. When you don't understand the purpose and meaning and the whole sacredness of religion, how can you revive it? We will only be fighting with each other. That's all. Bina Mirchandani, he says, mostly we can experience the state of inner silence when we go for a walk in the park or look at the trees.
Yeah. Sorry to disturb you. This is from Anu. She couldn't put it on the everyone chat. So
okay, wonderful. But unable to feel in the hustle bustle of the crowd. That's why go for a walk as frequently as possible. Spend some time with yourself. Be intimate with oneself. That's what is important. Otherwise, that is the most quality time which we will be spending with ourselves. That's the beauty of it. Let's not lose that. Let's not lose that fragrance of life. Let's not let go of that sensitivity and beauty which can manifest through us, provided we are willing to allow that space for it. That's what is important. I can go on and on like this. Any further questions? Any? Umesh ji? Yes, sir. You have any question or point to make?
Yes, I have.
Yes,
but
sir.
You have to help me by not answering me, because this is some question that I want to find answer sometime in myself. The point is.
So let us take it as a question for everybody.
Okay. The point is, we talked about the creator and creation, and these are not two different separate things. The creator is very much part of creation. So in that sense, we speak of Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. This is the two equations that I want to think about and find what is, in what context, which one is said. The second point is, we spoke about the knower and knowable is the same, but we always thought, at least I thought, that the supreme energy is unknowable. So these are the two points that I want to contemplate.
Yeah, please contemplate, but I think in some context we have discussed these things. You please do one thing.
Yes.
You have your notes.
Yes.
Which you were taking down during the sessions we were conducting in the School of Ancient Wisdom.
No, it is not with me at the moment.
Oh, okay. They are in India.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But that's the only luggage you should have carried, actually.
I did not know that I'll be gone for so long.
No, but even if you are gone for a day, that should be the only baggage. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
true.
But you refer to your notes. I can again discuss this and answer for you now, but I don't want to do it.
Yes.
To keep at it. Maybe if you are still, if you want next week, we can discuss this. But I think we have discussed these 2 points earlier also.
If it is possible, next week, if we can.
Yes, next week, yes, it's possible. We will discuss it. We discussed this earlier also. So let us postpone it for 1 week. It's almost now 11:50.
Yes.
So it's a 1 hour 20 minutes we have spent. So we'll take it up next week. And in the meantime, you also think about it and try to recall as to what I said.
Okay.
Try to recall about what I said. If you are able to remember, it's fine. Otherwise, we'll anyway discuss it. Okay?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So shall we close it?
Yes, Krishnaphani ji. Thank you. Sajani.
Sajini ji is there, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been missing
can
for
we
some
do-
time because of a lot of work, but I'm
issues
back
at all.
and I'm glad to be back. So,
No, there is luckily all these things, because the school is recording it, they are available.
yes, so one can always go back. So that's the nicest thing. Thank you so much, Krishnapani ji. It's as always, it's such a pleasure to hear you. And the cosmic vision that you spoke about, we are all hoping that someday we will also, in some janma, we will also.
No. Sajini ji, you will get it now and here.
Now and here you said, however, we need to see how it flashes.
Don't search for it.
No,
It's here,
I'm
already
hoping
here.
I'm hoping it will flash to all of us.
I see that divinity in you. So you
but-
see the divinity in me. So that's the divinity that's there. Become sensitive to that divinity.
Exactly. As you said, Krishna ji had said to be sensitive to beauty all around.
Yes.
And I remember, I used to listen to him when I was very young. I used to go to Lal Bagh because my aunts were philosophers. And every time he would tell us to look at that beautiful sunset of the tree. And then he would say, what normally happens to us, we can't become one with it. We want to click it, etc.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we are lost. But I remember this every time I heard Krishnamurti, these were the things he would ask us to look at the sky, look at the sunset, all that. And it came back very vividly when you were talking right now. So thank you so much.
At that time, there were no smartphones to take pictures.
Yes, but still he said, we say in our mind, we would like to take a picture, or we would like to paint it, all that. And that's when we are lost, because we are not one with the whole experience, is what you would say.
Absolutely. You were very fortunate to have.
Yes, I also
physically-
went to Rishi Valley, sat under the tree with him. They wanted
Very
us
good.
to join that school. Unfortunately, I didn't. All right. So we will now do the Loka Samasta. COVID is really increasing. So let us all send out a lot of love, a lot of peace, a lot of healing to the globe. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, the